What's up, guys? We are live, and guess what? We're doing a podcast with face cam and everything. It's a little weird. So, only reason, if you're new to my stream, haven't been here and been watching for the last couple months, you know I haven't been using a face cam. So, what changed? I rearranged some stuff, gave myself a nice little corner. Don't have anything set up yet, other than some stuff I found over here, but hey, this is the Ice Lounge. This is what we're going to call it. We're going to call this the Ice Lounge. So, topic for tonight. Yeah, the mic apparently disconnected, so that's great. I wonder where I left off. Oh, yeah, I know where I left off. Um, so we were talking about the NES Classic, and it's tiny. Two SNES controllers, and it looks awesome. I like the look of it. I've always been a fan of the American SNES. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. I like both of them, actually. I wish the American controllers had kept all the different colors on the buttons, but, you know, whatever. But let's dive into it. So we've got the mini SNES. You can see it still fits in the palm of your hand. Biggest improvement this time over the NES Classic. They're actually including They're actually including two controllers in the box this time, because anyone that got an NES Classic knows that the controllers were just as hard to come by as the friggin' box. And it's really cool that they're including two this time, just like when the SNES released in retail originally. So that's pretty friggin' awesome. And there's quite a few multiplayer games included in the box this time, so that's really cool. So, excited about that. I was super excited originally, because if you look right here at the top, it looks like it just takes the normal SNES controller plug-in, only miniaturized, but that's actually, unfortunately, just a fake door, and it folds down to reveal the Wii Classic controller ports, just like the NES Mini had. So, slightly disappointing, but at least this time the the SNES Classic controllers are going to have a 5-foot cable instead of the 3-foot one, so that's your main complaint, Zero, I believe, was that the cords were just too dang short. So, they're including a couple extra feet. It's still not a whole lot, but puts it equivalent to like GameCube length instead of Classic controller length. So, I mean, that's still pretty good compared to what we got last time. So, moving on, 21 games, including the never-before-released Star Fox 2. And, what can we say about this, this game list? It's pretty friggin' awesome. Got Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Zelda, F-Zero, Super Metroid, like, super heavy hitters. Then Donkey Kong, Star Fox, Mega Man X, Yoshi's Island, Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy VI, Super Mario RPG, Street Fighter, Punch-Out, Castlevania, Kirby Superstar, Kirby Dream Course, Earthbound, and then Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I mean, this list is freaking classic. So, when they first announced that it was only coming with the 21 games, or what was it, 21 or 20? 21. When they said it was coming with 21 games, I was super disappointed, because, I mean, the NES Classic came with 30. And it's 9 games less than NES Classic, but at the same time, I honestly think the games are just better than what we got with the NES Classic. Outside of, like, the Zeldas and the Mario Brothers, there were a few things that just could have been left off on the NES Classic, and then we would have been fine. And it would have been equivalent to, like, 25 games, so about 5, but regardless, I think that we're just getting a much better game lineup this time around. So I can overlook the lower number of games, I guess, is what I'm going for there. But at the same time, I could have done without 2 Kirby games on this box, and like neither of them are the good Kirby game. We got the collection of mini games and like the weird type. I don't even know how to describe Dream Course. It was a weird game, but why couldn't we just get Dreamland 3? Swap both of those out. Give us Dreamland 3. Replace Donkey Kong Country with Donkey Kong Country 2. And then take the opportunity to just add a couple more just to bolster it. The non-Nintendo choices are excellent, I agree. And another thing to note on this game list, there are 3 games that use the Super FX chip, which is something Nintendo hasn't done up to this point. We got Star Fox, Yoshi's Island, and Star Fox 2 all using the Super FX. And they've never emulated these chips in-house before. Like, we've never gotten Star Fox or Yoshi's Island proper on Virtual Console, on Wii or Wii U or 3DS. So the fact that we're getting them now really makes me even more excited for the Switch Virtual Console whenever that comes out, because we can see the actual proper version of Yoshi's Island finally, instead of that GBA port, which was Dream Course is supposed to be a golf game. Thanks for that knowledge, AT. I honestly tried it like once and never really understood what was going on. Welcome, Podcast Stephanos. How you doing, man? So, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on the SNES Classic? I want this to be an interactive podcast, so I want viewer interaction. If you happen to be signed up on my Patreon, I actually have open invitations to you to join in on voice chat every week that I do this. I'm hoping to do this every Sunday. But today we're just testing the waters. It's not going to be a relatively long show, as you all well know. I'm only talking about one thing today. But yeah, I mean, 2 controllers, longer cords. Nintendo promised better availability, but we'll see if that happens or not. They're probably going to give us a ton more availability at the start and then cut it off earlier than they did with the NES Classic. But we'll see. I mean, time will tell. But what are your guys' thoughts on the SNES Classic? Let's take it to chat and see what's up. So, AT says his main complaint is that it's going to be impossible to buy the godforsaken thing. It's probably will be. I mean, we can't even get pre-orders yet. And that's already off to a bad start. My message to Nintendo is this. I got your SNES Classic right here. It's called a Super Famicom. It's bad. But, I mean, talking about the shortages again, you wouldn't think that it would be hard to make these things. I mean, they're basically a Raspberry Pi. And these are like $35. And in all honesty, I'm surprised someone hasn't been able to just like rip the OS into an installable file that you could just install them on a Raspberry Pi. Like, that would be crazy hacking. But, I mean, it shouldn't be this hard to make a ton. And I mean, they obviously know they have a market for it now, so you would expect them to have a ton this time around. But, I mean, let's be honest, it's Nintendo, and they have a track record of never having enough stuff ever since the NES. Their entire, like, history has been defined by, we don't have enough consoles. Well, until N64, where they seem to have too many. But, yeah, I honestly don't know. You already own most of the games, so the most interesting choice for you is Star Fox 2. That is a good point. This is the first time Star Fox 2 is ever being released in its full-fledged version. There have been multiple versions that have leaked online over the years since it got canceled, but none of them have ever been the complete version. So it's going to be really exciting to see how much different it is compared to those betas. Because I've played the beta, and it was a fun game. I mean, a little rough now, but still really fun. But yeah, I mean, that's the reason I want it. I want to get it just for the opportunity to get the actual legit Star Fox 2 and not just some hacked ROM. So I think that's its main selling point that they have going for it. It was alright, but they also have a good $1,000 on. Are they up to $1,000 on eBay now? That's nuts. I haven't checked since they discontinued it, and it went up to 400. But at the same time, it shouldn't come as a surprise to people that it got discontinued. They said from the start it was going to be a limited time product. So the same thing with this. They've already said that this is going to be a limited time product again. So it's might be even shorter of a production run if they're providing more, like I said earlier. So, like, anytime you hear that they might be in and you really want to try to get one, you need to hop on that. Danny Briza, one of my editors who actually grew up in the 80s, said the NES was basically impossible to find until about 1987, and they had several game shortages. Yeah. Right after the NES Classic launched, or a couple months ago actually, there was a video going around that was a old 60 Minutes documentary about the NES. It was pretty hilarious to watch because it mirrored the situation with the Switch perfectly. And even the SNES, I never remember seeing those consoles at Walmart. I always saw the games, but I never saw the actual systems. It was just games. So, I mean, Nintendo hardware has just never been findable. So it'll be interesting to see if they really live up to their word on they're going to deliver the stock this time. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. So Zero had complaints about the cord length, and that kind of got addressed. They added 2 feet to that, mentioned that earlier, but it's still fairly good. Zero also mentioned something about wanting it to be able to hook up Switch controllers to it, and I don't know if I agree with that, because that's not really necessary. The game, it comes with 2 controllers, that's all you need for it. But yeah, I personally have no desire to hook a Switch controller up to it, because the SNES controller would be better anyway. AT has no faith in Nintendo. I don't blame him. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the highlights. We got a great selection of games. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the 21 games are multiplayer. And, I mean, that more than justifies the second controller inclusion. I mean, that's going to be great. 9 if you include Yoshi's Island's mini-games. You did a little passcode and it gave you access to these mini-games. It was really fun. They did a terrible job stocking Super Mario Bros. 2 in particular, and many children were disappointed that year. That's actually what the 60 Minutes documentary was on also. It's hilarious. They're not USB. They're still the Wii Virtual... I mean, they're still the Wii Classic controller plug, just like the NES Classic Zero. Nintendo lived up to their word. That's a laugh. Stefanos has no faith either. It's okay. The track record has proven that lack of faith is well-founded. It's unfortunate because I like Nintendo, but it's very true that they just don't live up to what they say they're going to do half the time. Oh well. They still make great games, and I'm going to play them. So... Any other insights from chat of what you guys think about the SNES Classic? $80 per asking point. It's actually a pretty good deal considering the game content. I mean, if you were going to try to find most of these games on cartridge, if you weren't importing from Japan, they're pretty dang expensive now. I mean, Super Metroid's about 60. Super Mario Kart's still going for 35 to 50 range. Zelda's 50 usually. Super Mario World goes for about 15. F-Zero's like 10. But then you get down to things like Earthbound. That thing's still going for like $180 for a crappy cart. Super Mario World 2, that one's like 50, 60. Mega Man X is 40. Super Mario RPG is 60. Contra 3 is like 60. Final Fantasy 3 is 60. I mean, these are all old games that cost the same as or more as a new game because they are so freaking rare now. So, for people that just want to play them legit and not download a ROM, this is honestly a steal. I was watching Fox News for no reason. I'm watching this for no reason. What are you doing? You're having fun, Kratos. You're having fun. Or Kratos. I don't remember which way you said it was. I think it's Kratos. We'll go with Kratos. Yeah, see, AT imports from Japan. And he gets them a little bit cheaper that way, but then you run the risk of a game not having English. And I don't know Japanese. But that's just me. Games like Super Metroid, though, are exactly the same in both countries. So, I mean, that's a good way to get Super Metroid. Good games, good console, but still has a track record. Yep. It's exactly true, Stefanos. I mean, there's no reason to blemish over that fact that they do that. Zero is asking, think this will sell out instantly? Yeah, I do. I think it'll sell out instantly. All the pre-orders in the UK have already been snatched up. So, I mean, that's already conclusive of what we can expect to see here also. Got Earthbound from Best Buy for $30 in 1997. Times are changing, money is changing, the world is changing. Dude, that is lucky. I never bought Earthbound back in the day, and I really wish I had. Getting informed on like Fox News. What's up, C-Funk? How you doing, buddy? We're doing our very first podcast, and we are talking about the SNES Classic. So, only bought from Japan a few times. Bought from online friends. Nice. But yeah, we're talking about the SNES Classic, discussing games, availability, pricing. What are your thoughts on it, C-Funk? How do you feel about the SNES Classic, buddy? Game I copied him. Also works on our videos. Don't regret it. That's nice of you, dude. That's a really expensive gift. Hopefully she's an Earthbound nut. Bet SNES games will be like $2 in 2017 years later. Oh, that's a very valid point, C-Funk. I mean, I still had my copy of Mega Man X up until a couple years back, and I got it for $5 freaking. And then when I wanted to get a new one, it was $40. It was nuts. I was blown away, but I love that game, and I wanted it. And I mean, Mega Man X3 is like $250. And like, if you go back even further to NES, there's games for NES that are $15,000 due to rarity. C-Funk, good ideas, better than Virtual Console, that's for sure. An SNES controller in new condition. Well, I mean, it's basically is Virtual Console in a box, C-Funk. It's still emulation, it's not real hardware. And the SNES controllers, hopefully they are of the same quality that we got in the original SNES controllers. That's going to be my biggest concern. Because if not, I'm going to have to get an adapter that lets you plug in the real SNES controllers into a Wii remote. Because they do make those. And then you can plug that into the SNES Classic. Yeah, that's nuts. $50 in 2002. It's only gone up. But again, it's cool that they're doing this. I'm honestly hoping they release an N64 one next year, because I love N64. I think that's one of my favorite Nintendo consoles, if not my favorite Nintendo console. But after that, I don't know what they're doing with these after that. Like, maybe they'll rotate through them every 3 years. Like, maybe 3 years from now we'll see an NES Classic version 2. Like, that would be kind of cool. Or 2 years from now, I guess, since last year was when it was released. But I don't know. I'd kind of like to see that. Just so that way we can lower the price on the originals, because scalpers wouldn't be able to get as much money if they re-released them incrementally. Yeah, yeah, dude, when we moved into this temporary place, I decided I was only going to leave my original Xbox unpacked so I could do a bunch of original Xbox playthroughs. And so I've just got this original Xbox and a couple of Dukes, and then when I've been going through thrift stores, I found these 2 Xboxes and all these other Dukes for dirt cheap, and so I picked them up and cleaned them up, and I plan to sell them, but in the meantime, they make an awesome backdrop. C-Funk, you never played the leaked ROM of Star Fox 2? It's pretty cool, man. Like, they implemented a lot of what they made in that game into Star Fox Zero, but better, I want to say. But again, I still think that's the main selling point of this box, is the fact that you can get Star Fox 2. Like, that's huge. I just remembered the topic I wanted to talk about as we got into this, and that's the games that didn't make the cut, like Chrono Trigger or Turtles in Time, including Mega Man 7 along with Mega Man X, so we could get both of the Mega Man series. Voice chat is just under Patron Voice and Discord, AT. Final Fantasy IV, yep, that was another one that didn't make the cut. Donkey Kong Country 3. Mega Man X3. I can understand not including multiple games of the same franchise. They did that with the NES Classic. Like, they had all the Mario Brothers, they had both Zeldas, they had 2 Castlevanias. And while it's cool to get the whole compilation, at the same time they're trying to like reach as wide of an audience as they can, so I can understand not wanting to include multiple games of the same franchise, but at the same time, when those games were good, they should have. So I can see, from a fan standpoint, the disappointment not seeing Donkey Kong Country 2 or 3, or getting Final Fantasy 2 and Chrono Trigger. I mean, that's just a lot of RPGs, though. But again, at the same time, that's a lot of hours you can put into this box, which justifies the buying price. If you ever want an SNES-style Halo game... Oh, gosh. Halo Zero. Nah, dude, it's all about Halo 2600. Let's get on the bandwagon of old-school hype right there. Yeah, so... There we go. So AT has joined voice chat with us here. Looks like his mic is muted. Let's see here. So down at the bottom of your screen, there should be like a little mic button. Just click on that so it'll unmute AT whenever you're ready. I'm trying to think of some other things. So since we're getting Star Fox 2 finally releasing, I thought it would have been a cool opportunity to finally see some bigger games that actually got English translations that just never got released in the North America, like Terranigma or Tales of Fantasia. Like, the original SNES version of Tales of Fantasia actually released in America would have been so cool. Because it finally did get released later on GBA, but the sound quality was a lot worse than the original SNES version, because let's be honest, the SNES was a sound beast. But what are some other games you guys would have liked to see on the SNES? I know I don't have as wide of a variety of SNES games that I truly loved as a lot of people do. Like, I never played, like, ActRaiser. That's one that a lot of people have been requesting that they had put on there, but... Hey, we got AT involved. Let's get on the hype right here. So, still discussing games we wish we could have been on the box, AT. Insight. Your personal insights. Now you're playing with superpower.
You mentioned import titles.
Yes, indeed.
I could have gone for Mylan's Doki Doki. I don't know the full title. Maybe you know what I mean.
Yeah, the game that Super Mario Brothers 2 was basically inspired by. Right? Is that the one we're going for? Guyver, Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario All-Stars would have been a cool version to include. Instead of doing straight up Super Mario World, I've done Super Mario All-Stars plus
Or
Super Mario
another
World.
one of the Parodius or Parodius games as well.
Don't think I've ever seen that franchise. I'll have to look that one up. I'm not too big on the imports, because of course back then I never really looked into it. Like, my friend introduced me to Terra Enigma probably back in like 2004, and I enjoyed that one, but it had like an English translation and everything. But yeah, I still could have done without the 2 Kirby games. Just give us Kirby's Dream Land 3 proper. Add in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. We got 2 good RPGs in Final Fantasy VI and Mario RPG, but it would have been cool to see Chrono Trigger. I'm not as upset about Final Fantasy IV not making the cut. I'm almost sad that Mega Man Soccer didn't make the cut, though. That was a really fun multiplayer game. C-Funk had the plus Super Mario World cart. Nice, dude. Are you able to hear me on Discord, AT?
Probably the best soccer game on the Super Nintendo I've played.
Oh, Mega Man Soccer. Heck yeah, dude. Oh, that sucks, C-Funk. That sucks so much. Alright. Was there anything else about the SNES Classic that I'm not thinking of? I think I've covered, like, aesthetics, controllers, games.
Very faintly, I think I'm out of sync by a few seconds.
Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate. I felt like I just had something. Oh, resolution. So the NES Classic was locked to 720p. So here's hoping this time we can get a full 1080p HDMI output with the SNES Classic, because that would be awesome. I would love to compare it to my RGB FrameMeister setup just to see what it looks like. And then we also get into the question of how accurate the emulation is. I mean, we're actually getting Super FX games emulated this time, so it'll be awesome to see how those turn out. And that's basically 2 of my biggest wish lists with this thing. Just as accurate emulation as it needs to be. I mean, it's Raspberry Pi. Let's not lie about it. Let's not lie about what it is. It's not going to be a powerhouse. It won't be able to do perfect emulation. But I'm hoping that it is accurate enough for what's included, and that we can get it at good resolution. We can actually find the suckers, and that the controllers don't suck. And I think those are everything that I wish for in this box. I think that's going to do it for the podcast section of tonight's stream. I'm going to cut stream for 1 second to let a new stream start. So just stick around for just 1 second, everybody, and then we'll start playing some games. Alright, so now that the podcast section's done, I have no idea what I want to do tonight. Anyone want to play anything? Like, anyone want to play anything multiplayer? Anything fun like that? Open for suggestions. That face, though. Yeah, it's weird using the webcam again, man, let me tell you. I did want to show this off to everybody, though. So, this is one of the things I got from E3. It's a freaking Wolfenstein. This was In-N-Out French fries that they served at the Bethesda conference, and they came in Wolfenstein printed bags, and it was hilarious to me, so I just wanted to keep this so bad. And then, I didn't get to bring home all the stuff I was going to because I came on a plane, unfortunately, but I made sure to mail this to myself, and it is a, Battlefront 2 limited edition poster. Man, light is crap. I can't show it off very well. But yeah, anyone that tried out the Battlefront 2 demo got one of these guys, and it's pretty slick. It's like reflective, as you can see, kinda. Yeah, Wolfenstein French fries. It was freaking hilarious. I didn't know it was In and Out at first, and then when I got into the thing, I saw the In and Out employees, and I was like, oh. But still, Wolfenstein printed French fries. It was so great. I also got like a Battlefield 1 cantina. I should find that bag real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna go find that bag. It's awesome. Where is that bag? Oh, here it is. Alright, but I looked stoned AF, oh man. But yeah, I went to EA Play. I'm still rocking this stupid wristband for some reason. But they also, let's see here, also got a Wolfenstein like shot glass that came with a strawberry milkshake in it. That was pretty awesome. We're gonna add that up here. The Battlefield 1 canteen. This thing's pretty nice. I'm actually like decorating on stream. This is great. Oh, where's that coin? This thing is awesome. So we went and got a demo of Total War Arena, and so they gave us this Roman-inspired coin for doing that one. Like, this thing is just freaking awesome. It's got weight to it and everything. Oh man, my wife just called me fat.
No, he did not.
Kids raging at video games. Oh man. I don't think I said welcome to stream yet, Reg. Welcome to stream, man. I'm really sad that I don't have a business card from this one company anymore.
Don't tell them I didn't actually call you fat.
She didn't actually call me fat. I'm just making that up. Got a pin for Super Lucky's Tale for demoing that one. It's actually a pretty nice pin. I need to get like something to put like right here that I could just strap all these pins in. Here, Charizard, hold on to Super Lucky. Hold on to Lucky for me. Thank you. Let's see here. Lots of business cards. Man. That's not cool. I don't have a whole lot of cool stuff, unfortunately. Nope. Got some Sea of Thieves pins also. I didn't try that game out, but they just wanted to get rid of all their swag, so I like swag. Stuff we all get. That's what swag stands for. I didn't realize that until just recently. I feel really dumb for not knowing that. But got a couple of flash drives like labeled by individual companies. So we got like THQ Nordic here. These are like the press kits they were actually handing out for us to write about. It was awesome. Total War Arena. Wow. I'll find that later. Bounced under my desk. But I felt like there was one more thing that I really wanted to show off from E3, but I don't think I have it anymore. Oh, yeah, it was the Nuka-Cola. They actually had special edition Jones sodas that were printed up as Nuka-Colas, and it was super cool, but I couldn't bring it home because I went on a plane, and they won't let liquids, and I only had a backpack. So I also got an EA bag for going to EA Play, so that was pretty nice. It's a great bag to store stuff in. So, who wants to play games?